What up? What up? What up, y'all? I said, what's up? What's up? What's up? Fine, 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 fine. This your girl, Too Tall, baby.
Hey, y'all already know who this is, man. It's the hostess that always does the absolute mostest. And today I'm doing the mostest with my bob that
Oh,
I
wow.
curled on today. So anyway, yeah, man. What's going on? I'm so thankful that it was only 90 degrees here in Houston
Oh,
today.
is that cold or hot for y'all? Huh. Only 90 degrees. That's steaming.
Right.
Oh goodness. Here in Kentucky, I mean it's like 80 degrees and we about to die. The
No,
humidity though, the humidity hit different in Kentucky than it does in Texas, right?
it's not really humid, it's dry.
Right, right. So yeah, for 80 degrees here, it's super hot, but it probably feel really good there. So that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up, Miss Iconic. Well, top of the Monday, people. Miss Iconic, I got a question to ask you.
What's
So,
that?
so when you were in school, right? Um, do you remember the Pledge of Allegiance by heart?
Yeah, you had to.
You had to. So like, I mean, did you stand and stuff? Like, because for me, instantly, if I start saying it, will you start repeating it after me? Like off memorization, right?
Well, in school, that's something that are we talking about in school or are we talking about now? Because
In school.
yeah, in school you had to say the pledge.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I remember so this is the anthem, y'all. So I remember when I was in school, I had to we stood up, right? We didn't know I didn't really know why I was standing. I just stood up and said the pledge. I put my right hand over my heart and said the pledge of allegiance, and it was the thing to do in school. And
Yeah.
I remember just repeating it, and then you sit down. It was directly after the morning announcements. What about
Okay.
y'all? Did you all have like, was it a routine for your school when you did it?
It's routine for every school, is what I'm saying. That's normal. Everybody does that. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, so I was researching, right, and I was like, man, what's the background on the Pledge of Allegiance? Because I never knew the meaning of it. Like, I didn't understand why the Pledge of Allegiance occurred. I didn't get it. I just knew that when I was in school, it was already developed. It was already formed. Like, it was implemented. It's kind of like the Bible, so to speak, And so in 1892, Francis Bellamy was the guy who wrote the Pledge of Allegiance. They wanted to write the Pledge of Allegiance because they thought that it needs to have more patriotism in society, and that actually tried to help it out. So I was really interested, and I dug deeper, right? So I was wondering, like, where did like the meaning of the heart come from? Because when people stand up for the pledge, they put their hands over their heart.
Yeah.
So did you know, fun fact, that the when they was putting their hand on the heart, that wasn't even the first time. Like, that wasn't it. That's not how it started. It started because it's called the Bellamy salute, and y'all can research that. But it started like they had to have their right hand, and they held their hand up high, and like kind of curved, and it was pointing directly towards the flag, and they did that in honor of the flag. But I guess because World War II was taking place, they had to change that because it looked like the Nazi salute.
Well, that's not the Nazi salute. The Nazi salute is with your palm facing down.
Right, but they said it
Um,
was similar. It was way too similar, so they had to change it.
yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. So yeah, that was my little fun fact on it. What about you?
What about me? What?
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the Pledge of Allegiance?
I don't stand for it and I don't participate
Why not?
because I don't agree with
What
it.
is it that you don't agree with?
I don't agree with the whole thing. I don't agree with none of the words of it. I think it's a crock of bull, and I don't agree with it. So I do not stand for it or
Okay.
participate.
And has it always been though?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you've been knowing what the pledge was? Like you've been understanding that?
Not in its entirety, but I knew that nobody could explain to me why I had to say it. And so, because there was no reason behind it, I don't believe in doing things that have no reason. So,
So were
no.
you like Colin Kaepernick? Were you like the only person that was sitting down while everybody else was standing?
Um, Probably. I don't remember exactly the details, but I mean, I got in trouble a couple times for not participating.
Like through your teachers?
Yep, yep.
That's like your right though. Like you ain't gotta stand. But you know what? So I stood for the pledge. I feel like I stood up until like my senior year in high school. Then I started realizing like, wait, this don't make no sense. But even then I kind of stood because I didn't want to like unfortunately I didn't want to look frowned upon. And so I still stood trying not to have any type of misunderstanding in school because nowadays, like even like 2 years ago, there was a kid that got arrested for not standing for the pledge. Like, how you gonna take somebody's rights away?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Mhm.
That's what's up. Good stuff. So when I was looking up like the pledge, right? Because I was trying to understand like what is the pledge of allegiance, like what's those words actually mean, you know what I'm saying? And um so kind of break it down like allegiance. I think that word is so technical because when you think of allegiance, it's like your loyalty of commitment of a subordinate to a superior or individual group. So like you're really pledging your allegiance to like a flag. Like
Mhm.
that's the craziest thing because if you're pledging your allegiance to a flag, I mean, like, what is that doing for you? It's just a flag. Or some people would debate it, right?
I don't think it's that, I think it's the representation of the flag. So, the flag represents the United States. So I think that's the whole thing behind that.
Okay. I mean, yeah. So they didn't put okay, so did you know that they rewrote the flag, the Pledge of Allegiance?
Of course I did.
Okay. So did you notice that under God wasn't even in there at first?
Of course I did.
Okay, so because under God wasn't in there, now you're hearing people say, "Oh, well, why should under God be in there? Why should it?" Like it's taking away the impact of the pledge.
I haven't, I mean, I've seen things. Some people agree, some people don't. But I know recently, when they had the Democratic convention, that there were two caucuses that omitted it when they were reciting the pledge on TV during the convention, and so it was a big mess about that. So I don't know. I don't really know how to take it.
You don't know how to take it. Okay, yeah, but I mean, if they omitted the under God, like some people feel like it shouldn't be in there because just different situations that take place. Like, how can you say under God and I don't know, like it's kind of a symbolism of some sorts. So, even like for me with the pledge, I try to like now that I'm understanding it, I don't think I would stand up for it again. But you know, when I ask like older people, I say, "Hey, have you stood up for the pledge? Like, what does that mean to you? What is it?" And because old school, like, and they was like, "Yeah, it was the thing to do. You was proud to be an American back in the day. Like, you even though you didn't have freedom, you was still proud to be an American."
Yeah.
And that's the craziest, like, wow, okay, so you're proud to be an American, so you just stand up for it, so hopefully one day they don't look at you like, okay, well, you're not an American, you can still fit in. into society?
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I've never cared about how people view me, so I can't speak on that. I can't speak on that because it never mattered to me.
Yeah, it didn't. And then it's kind of like freedom, and you know, in it kind of tells you like with liberty and justice for all, right? So like when you say liberty, it's like the freedom, rights of power to live ones without threat, fear, or retaliation. And right now, like that, I feel all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel the fear, I feel the threat. With everything going on in society, you know, even just looking at what just took place with Jacob Blake, the young man who just got shot by the police. Like, you know, how can you have liberty and these things happen? Like freedom, like there's a threat to society. I feel is like an African American. So, well, a threat, not necessarily a threat to society, but society just makes you feel less than by the color of your skin.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's
I
up.
don't think it's necessarily just the color of your skin. I mean, like, if you go through and just break it down, first of all, um, it's a direct violation of you know a few different amendments to the Constitution. So it's a violation of your constitutional rights. Um, the it was sort of indoctrinated in the schools and stuff, as a part of a daily routine that is not even meant to represent everybody. The pledge doesn't represent everybody. In breaking it down line for line, again, when the pledge was originally written, it read, "I pledge allegiance to my flag and to the republic. I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic." Um, and when I first heard the word republic, I automatically was like, okay, Republican and Democrat, but that's not what that means. Republic is just means, ran by the citizens, and we all know that that's not true. That this country is not run by the citizens. This country is run by um, those that are wealthy and have status. So then it also goes on to say, for which it stands one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then it's been transfigured, I guess, if you will, to now read pledge allegiance. They added United States of America, which was never a part of the original pledge. They added the under God, and everything, but pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Again, I'm not pledging loyalty to a country that is not for me. This country is not for me. It is not for my kind. It never has been, regardless of what they put out there to cover up the racism and to cover up the fascism and the oppression, regardless of how they manipulate the laws to make it for them. It's for the rich, it's for the wealthy, it's for those with status, it's for the, big name business owners and corporations and things like that. It never has been for people like me, not my parents, not my lineage. None of it. And then going to the next line, like I said, until the republic for which it stands, is not ruled by the citizens. It's ruled by the wealthy.
Yeah.
One nation under God. I mean, in itself, that line in itself is a violation of the Constitution, because the First Amendment says that there are no you cannot make somebody do something that represents a religion, and also that violates their right to have freedom of speech. So the fact that they mention God, I mean, I believe in God. I don't have a problem with that. But the fact that they mention that and something that is supposed to represent all of America, when all of America does not even believe in God,
That part.
that's just a violation of the First Amendment and people's rights. So, you're making people that are say Muslim perhaps or atheist or whatever their religion or religious beliefs is, you're making them say that, and then when they don't, you're suspending people, expelling people, throwing them in jail, and things like that. Indivisible. I think we all know that this country is extremely divided. People can't even be themselves. The seems like the only people that are free to be themselves for the most part are white people, and I love my white people, but white people don't understand the privilege that they carry and the privilege that they were born into, being born in this country. And if you're anything outside of white, you gotta kind of pretend and perform to even be able to survive in this country. Not only that, if you have a different sexuality, if you look different, if you dress different, if you have vitiligo, if you are anything outside of the norm of what society says that you should be, then you are looked at as, you're not one of us, you don't belong. And so indivisible, it's just not so, because we people can't even be free to be who they are, be who they were born born to be. And you pretty much have to pretend. You can't be, if you're black, you can't be too black. And then if you decide that you want to have some sense about yourself and not play into this stereotype of what people think a black person should look like and act like and talk like, if you decide you want to have some sense about yourself, and you decide that you want to use proper language and not ebonics, and you decide that you want to dress yourself up, and not look like you just came in off the streets, if you decide that you want to enunciate and pronounce all of your syllables when you speak, then you're told that you talk white, you
Oh
act
my
white,
gosh.
things
Listen,
like that. So you can't
that
even
happened to
be
me.
you can't even be yourself in
Yeah.
this country. And then with liberty and justice for all, we know that that line is a complete and utter joke, because there is no liberty here in America, and there is
Yeah,
no
no justice.
freedom. And if you
Yeah.
do have a portion of the freedom or the liberty that they're speaking of in the Pledge of Allegiance, it is going to come at a cost. It's going to come at a very heavy price to have that freedom. And so there really is no freedom here. And so for those and many other reasons is why I will not and do not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance nor the national anthem.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's true. You know what? When I was in school, I was speaking a certain way, and somebody said, "Oh, you talking white."
Yeah.
Ah, so yeah. And as far as the national anthem, because of like where I work, it's more so like it would definitely be frowned upon if I did not stand. But since I've been researching, you know what I'm saying, like I do know my rights on this, but at first I didn't. It was kind of like it was brainwashed. Like you kind of just get into it and you just kind of know you just know you're supposed to do it. I don't even remember how I learned the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't even remember it. Like, do you remember how you learned it? I just like feel like it just kind of
What do you
happened like
mean
the
in
next day.
school?
I know, but like I just don't remember when it started. Like, what age do they teach the kids to start doing it? That's
A part
wild.
of
But
every school system. When you go to school, you learn the Pledge of Allegiance. That is what,
so we
there is
started
no
kindergarten.
there is no age. It's when you go to school, that is a part of the routine at school.
Yeah, I was watching this YouTube clip and it was something about the Pledge of Allegiance and they broke it down, right? And so how you just said indivisible, the man was like, "Oh yeah, because we are incapable of being divided." And it was like, "What?" Like this thing was probably filmed in like 1950-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like the way he said it, and it made me sit here like, I don't know, like this. Y'all need to redo this film. This don't make no sense. So yeah,
Yeah,
that
I mean, a lot of people speak on things that they really don't know, but I've always had a rather strong opinion about things, and if nobody can explain something to me, then I'm just not going for it. So, the same with the national anthem, and that's a little bit more in depth because it's many verses to the national anthem. The Pledge of Allegiance is what 31 words, so it's very short, but the thing is, I don't live I don't live lies. And so to rehearse that every single day, I mean, I understand the intent behind it, but the fact of the matter is it is a contradiction line by line and almost word for word. It's just it's a contradiction for me. It stands for hypocrisy, it stands for injustice, it stands for oppression, and many other things that I can sit here and name and just go on and on, but I don't. And like I said, I will never, when I have kids, I will educate my kids, and then I will give them the right. And I think ultimately that is what we need to do in this day and age. There is no other time to do this. Like, the time is now. If you have
yeah,
not already educated your kids, about these things, break it down, explain to them what these words mean. Have them look them up, what
yeah,
these words mean, and see what their input is about it and how they feel. And ultimately, I think that everyone, and since we're talking about in schools, I'm just going to say that kids should have that right to choose whether or not they want to say that or not, because it is a violation of their constitutional rights as a human being, and as a citizen of the United States of America. It's a violation. It's a violation. They are being their rights to choose are being snatched away. Their rights to have the freedom of speech, or to stand or not stand, or say it or not say it. And I'll be damned if I pledge my loyalty to anything outside of God. I will not do that. I will not worship
amen.
nor create an idol of a flag, a country, a person, a leader,
Okay,
nothing. And I just won't do it. If that is the epitome of dictatorship
yeah,
and capitalism and things like that. If there were other countries, if people were in Africa or China and they were pledging allegiance to, the kings in Africa, or oh, I forgot what they call them in China, like, people would have something to say about that. You know what I'm saying? But we can sit up here and make an oath and pledge our loyalty
sure.
to a flag that represents something that is not for the people and is not for us. I just don't believe in that. So my kids will never say it. And if I had a choice in school, I would not have said it either. Even now, with the national anthem, I've had clients that have told me, if I don't like it, if America's so bad that I don't want to stand and say the national anthem, then why don't I just leave? And I was like, where the hell you want me to go, girl? Because if I leave, you got to leave too. Because
Okay,
just like America don't belong to me, it don't belong to you either.
okay,
And so I don't think, I don't know where white people get off with this idea that black people need to go back to Africa. Like, it's the most insane thing, because a lot of black people don't even come from Africa, just like white people did not come from America. Like, they came from other places. So I'm not sure where they get that logic from and why that's such a thing. I still remember in the 6th grade, I stabbed a little boy in the head with a mechanical pencil for telling, and I don't know the reasons, but he's told me to go back to Africa. So even then, as kids, these kids are learning this stuff from their parents and from their grandparents and things like that. And so if we can indoctrinate these ideas and these theologies and these Pledge of Allegiance and all of that, then we could definitely indoctrinate other things like color should not matter. Like you don't hate people because of the color of their skin or because of their religion or because they have any differences than you. You know, if you could teach them wrong, you can teach them right.
That part. Yeah, I agree with that, Miss Iconic. I think also just to piggyback off what you said, like just agreeing with you that students definitely you should educate your child when it comes to this because give them a chance to understand it. I'm not gonna necessarily when I have children, I won't say don't do this. Like I will give them the option to make that choice. And I mean, if it don't make sense, then I'll be like, listen, you sure like I need you to read this one more time to make sure you want to stand for this. And then if they give me,
Yeah.
like the feedback that's necessary, then or like to support why they would do it, then I would support them because I mean, you have like the military, maybe my child one day wants to go to the military. And so when they go to the military, excuse me, you have no choice but to do it. There's no choice. There's no option.
Even that in itself, there is no constitution for just military people. And I think that, that is something that was created in the military again as a form of control because people that are high ranking in the military, there are good ones, just like there are good cops, just like there are good black people, just like there are good white people. But just like there are good, there are also bad. There is a dichotomy. You have one and you have the other. You have the yin and you have the yang. You have daylight or you have day and you have night. You have hot and you have cold. You have to have the both to balance. But I think in systems like that and like the military, I think that it has just been used so long to control them. It's another form of slavery. The people go out there and they fight for this country and they are given no more respect by by the leaders of this country than everybody else. They're given no respect. They
Yeah.
go out there and put their life on the lines. They leave their kids and their wives and their husbands and their families, they're, at home while they go out and put their lives on the line for this country. And they still are not shown the respect and are not appreciated as they should. So I think when people say, "Oh, by you not saying that, you're disrespecting the people that are fighting for this country," no, I'm not.
Yeah,
I
no,
respect the people that fight for this country.
absolutely.
What I don't respect is the people, the leaders of this country. I don't respect the people that are making the constitutions to fit around certain people or certain, making the laws to to basically benefit them.
Yeah.
That's what I don't respect. And so, it's just funny. You're seeing the people that won't conform, even in the military, that are getting murdered every single day, people that are getting blackmailed and blackballed every single day.
Every
So what is it that why by me choosing not to say that am I so disrespectful to veterans and to military officials and things like that, but you going out and murdering them because they will not conform or because you could not control them?
mm,
It's no different. So it's just a form of control, and there is no law or no constitution that says that if you are in the military that you have to stand or say that. There is none. And so it doesn't matter that you're frowned upon. Again, back to what we were talking about last week. If that's something that you believe in, you strongly believe in, then you have to stand up and you have to make a difference. Because when does it stop? If it doesn't stop with you, when does it stop? And so this is why we're fighting so many things. This is why it's been hundreds and hundreds of years of us fighting the same battles, of us fighting the same racism and fascism and oppression and, just all of this. We've been fighting the same battles for hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's because people don't have the gall, people don't have the guts anymore to stand for that, and people are not willing to sacrifice for it. Yeah, you might lose your job or something like that, but at the end of the day, if somebody fires you off of something that is a constitutional right, do you know how many times you could sue them? Like, and I know that the system again is not created for us because they will come together. It's strange how people in high powers can come together and stick together to protect their own kind. But when it comes down to minorities and black people, we can't stick together to protect what's ours. And that's the sad part about it. So we have to change. We have to change our mindset. We can't no longer say, well, this is the way things have been and it's frowned upon and I don't want to be frowned upon. That's not, you can't worry about that, and if you know better, you have to do better. You have to set the example. You can't just talk a good game. Again, what you think and what you say, what you think and what you speak and what you do have to line up,
Yeah.
or otherwise, you're imbalanced and you can't make no moves or make no type of changes when those things are not aligned. So no, I don't care who I'm around. I don't care. That's why I never went to the military, because I don't like to be controlled, especially when it is violating my rights. I refuse. So it doesn't matter how many times people look at me or tell me to go back to Africa or tell me I'm disrespectful to veterans or to the country or whatever. I don't care, because I know why I do and why I don't stand for the things that I believe in. And that is just not something that, unless things change, then I will say, I'm proud to be an American. I'm not proud to be an American. This is supposed to be the land of the free, the land of milk and honey, but where?
Oh.
Where? So no, I just won't do that. And I just encourage anybody that's out there watching, whether you have kids or not, I encourage you to, before you stand for these things, if it's things, regardless of how long you've been doing it, regardless of how many Sundays you don't went to that church with your grandmama, if they not speaking truth and if they not talking facts and trying to elevate you, then don't do it. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Ask questions. I don't care who get offended by me asking questions, because guess what? If you can't answer it, we got a problem. I just don't care. I don't care how many times they suspend you in school for saying it. They took a little boy to jail in
Yep.
Florida, in Lakeland last year, 11 years old. And he told his teacher, I'm not standing to say that because this country is racist. I don't agree with this country, and I'm not gonna stand and say that. And she got pissed off, and they tried to kick him out of school, and of course it turned into a big to
Girl,
do.
thank God that was your kid. Oh my God. Oh,
I mean, it's just a lot, but
yeah.
you have to educate yourselves, and ultimately, you have a choice. Know your rights.
Yes. No, you're
Educate
right.
these kids, because it's starting at a young age. We
Mhm.
didn't just learn the pledge at 30. We learned the pledge as soon as we got into the school system. And so the school system, all of it is a part of the grand scheme of things. This government, this whole, fight for
Control.
power
Yep.
and control. It's all a part of the grand scheme of things. It was not designed for us. When the pledge was written, we did not even have rights. We were not even looked at as humans. We were looked at as animals. So it was not written for us, because it wasn't even written during a time where we were respected as human beings. So just give your kids the right to choose.
Yep.
And don't, if they choose something that goes against what you think, explain to them your viewpoints and let them explain theirs, and let that be that. But they still need to have the right to choose, even if their choice does not agree with your choice for them, because everybody has to live their own lives. And I think it's important to just have a choice.
I agree. That's what's up. It's iconic. Come on. Education teacher. Yes, behind your name now. Teacher.
I
That's what's
want to
up.
go to well, go ahead, but I'm gonna go through some of the questions.
Yeah, go ahead and do the questions. It's iconic.
Yeah, so Isola says that the whole thing is a contradiction. Exactly. Tawana, you're invalidating their feelings about their religion. Absolutely. If somebody doesn't believe in God, like, and you're making them say that, is wrong.
Yeah.
Is wrong. Kids should not be shunned for their choice to sit. Yep.
Yep.
Isla, the way Crystal just explained pledging allegiance almost made it sound cultish. It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's a covert cult. They don't want to say that out in the open, so they make these ways and these you know these doctrines that we're supposed to live by, and again, it's another way of control, and so it absolutely is a cult. It absolutely is a cult. That is eye opening and gave it a whole new perspective. I appreciate that. America wasn't made for us. It was, what am I looking at? America wasn't, hold on. I can't see some of the comments.
Let me see if I can check. Hold on.
Ivy says, ow, or ooh wee, you hit the nail on the head. Our purpose here was to be their property. And so when someone said, no, this is immoral, then we became a problem. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're always a problem if we don't agree with the ones who are supposed to be controlling us. Um, I just lost a bunch of what happened. I don't understand how this is going.
Girl,
Hold
I
on,
don't see a
y'all.
lot of them on here either. It's
It's a
weird.
lot of the comments that are just not.
Popping
Hold
up.
on, hold on.
No, no,
Um,
Mr. Conic is the.
okay. The only thing the KKK did was change their uniform. Exactly, and made it more
Oh,
legalistic.
oh
So
Lord.
now they don't walk around with white sheets and combs on the top
Now
of
they
their
your
head.
neighbors now.
Now they walk around looking like the president of the United States.
Okay.
Now they walk around looking like cops. Now
Yeah.
they walk around looking like teachers and our neighbors and our grocery store clerks and our bank tellers and things like that. So yeah, they don't look, the enemy doesn't come with this red suit and horns and a
Mm,
pitchfork. The enemy comes looking like the things that we're supposed to know and love and trust.
yeah.
And the same thing with this. Oppressors come looking like they're trustworthy. They come looking like I just said, the people that we're supposed to know and love.
Yeah.
Tawana says they stole this land and now try to tell people to go back to where you come from. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Isola, in my opinion, we were an afterthought when being considered as human, as far as the Constitution is concerned. Yep. Tawana says that they charged a woman with destruction of property because her child died during an escape attempt because they didn't want Black people to be viewed as human. Wow.
Dang. That's a mouthful.
Stand for something or fall for anything. Yeah, man. Excellent comments, y'all. Thank
Yeah.
y'all so much for
That's
like
it.
tuning in. But ultimately it's your choice, guys. And yes, indeed, the Pledge of Allegiance violates the first amendment of the Constitution. It violates it on multiple times. I believe it also violates the 14th Amendment in the Constitution. So, if these are things that you have been questioning within yourself, study, research, look it up. Google things. Google tells you everything, but don't just trust Google. The first thing that comes up on Google is Wikipedia.
You know that's
Anybody
credentials. I
anybody
told
with a
them that.
keyboard can make a Wikipedia. So if you do find things on there, because sometimes they do have correct information, dig deeper, look
Yeah.
further, and ultimately seek truth. So this has been great. It's been educational. I know it's kind of boring to talk about the Pledge of Allegiance. Nobody wants to hear about those things, and it's because we don't want to hear the truth a lot of times
Truth.
because
The truth
we're
shall
scared
set
of it. It just looks better if we just stay uniform, do
and
what
stop
we're
thinking
supposed
about
to
it.
do as
That's
good
it.
little black citizens of the United States. But I'm not, this is not just for black people.
The
This is for
LGBT.
anybody who has ever felt violated, who has
Yes.
ever experienced injustice, who has ever felt like they have not fit in, who have ever felt like they've been judged. This is for all of you guys, and we just want you to know truth. We're not telling you do or don't stand, do or don't say the pledge, do or don't say the national anthem. All we're saying is if you're going to stand for those things and if you're going to participate, know why you're doing it.
Know why.
Know why you're doing it and know what those things stand for. All right.
That's what's up. Well, y'all
So,
know who this is. This your girl, Tiffany Town, baby.
hey, and y'all already know this is the hostess that always does the absolute mostest. And today I am doing the mostest with my people. So
Oh,
y'all new to the neighborhood, guys. Listen, come back every single Monday at 7 p.m. It's a block party up in here. We have a block party every
but you gotta wear
Monday.
your mask though.
We still social distancing. So anyway, welcome to the neighborhood, guys. And if you've already been here, if you tune in with us every week, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the neighborhood. We love you guys. And we
Absolutely.
look forward to kicking it with y'all at next week's block party, guys.
Yeah,
It's
it's the party.
it.
Hey, we out.